guys, so today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial using all new products to me. Some of the products I'm sure you guys are going to be like, Erin, they are not new. They've been on the shelves for a while, but to me, they are new. I have a lot of makeup that I don't get to use that gets sent to me in PR, and I kind of keep it all kind of pushed away into one drawer so that I know when I want to film one of these videos, I can go in there and it's products that I've never used before that I can give you guys my first impressions on. So some of them aren't necessarily new releases, some of them are. There's kind of like a really big mix in this video, but yeah, there's some gems in there. So I'm excited for you guys to see those. This video is actually a really exciting one for me because I've partnered with Sigma Beauty, which my 18-year-old self right now is going crazy. Sigma Beauty were one of the first brands that ever reached out and wanted to work with me as an affiliate. They were a brand that was like, I begged my boyfriend Ben to buy me a Sigma brush kit for Christmas one year. I always saw like the big beauty YouTubers using Sigma brushes, and when I first started getting into makeup, it was like my goal to own Sigma brushes one day. I think there's even like a picture somewhere on my Instagram. I'll see if I can find it. If I do, I'll insert it here. But it's basically a picture from Christmas Day, the day that I got my first ever Sigma brush kit, and I was so stoked with life. Like I was so happy to finally have Sigma brushes. So the fact that I now get to work with them and get to partner with them on a video is just like crazy to me. So basically this video is to announce that Sigma is now stocked in Sephora Australia, which is so dang exciting. For those of you guys in Australia, you would know how hard it can be sometimes for us to get our hands on a lot of like US brands, Sigma being one of those up until now. So yeah, all Sigma makeup brushes are now available in Sephora Australia. The quality of Sigma brushes is like the best I've ever used, if I'm being completely honest. I've used so many different brands of makeup brushes, and Sigma are my go-to. Like I always find I go back to Sigma. They have a huge range, but not only that, they also come with a 2-year warranty, which that in itself I'm pretty sure is quite unheard of in like the makeup brush industry. They're also vegan and cruelty free, which again is just an added bonus. I also wanted to quickly address, because I get questions about this all the time, I always get asked how I clean my makeup brushes. So I thought I'd quickly show you guys a few of my favorite products. I use all Sigma products to clean my makeup brushes as well. So I've got the Sigma brush cleaning shampoo here, which is like the foam shampoo. Then I've also got the Sigma drying rack and the Sigma brush cleaning mat. So I use all of these to clean my brushes. I kind of wet my brushes with lukewarm water and then scrub them around in this foam on this mat, and it's got lots of different textures on it. So you can kind of scrub your brushes around each of the textures and give them a really good clean and wash. It gets all the product out, and then I rinse them with lukewarm water to get all of the shampoo out, and then use this drying rack to hold them and dry them. So yeah, they're my like 3 go-to brush cleaning products. I always get questions, so I thought I would just quickly add that into this video, considering it is very Sigma themed. The shampoo is also 100% natural, which is fantastic. And then you also get 2-year warranty on the brush cleaning products as well. Pretty sure that is all of the information I wanted to give you guys before I get into this tutorial. So thank you again so much to Sigma for partnering with me on this video. I hope you guys like the tutorial. I'm really happy with how the makeup turned out. So if you want to see some gems that I discovered today while I did my makeup, then just keep watching. Oakley dokily. So for primer today, I'm actually going to use both of these primers. These are Smashbox primers. This one is the Smashbox Photo Finish, and this one is the, oh wait, they're both called Photo Finish. This one's the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, and then this one here is the Minimize Pores Primer. So I think I'm gonna focus this one towards my T-zone and then kind of do like the overall foundation primer all over my face. I got a massive package towards the end of last year full of Smashbox primers, so a lot of them are new to me. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the Minimize Pores one first. I'm assuming that this, I mean, it looks really similar to the Benefit Professional. It kind of has like the same look and the same feel to it. So I'm just gonna focus that towards like the center of my face, because that's where my pores are the worst. Feels super silicone-y, which usually pore filling primers are silicone based. I I mean, it kind of just reminds me of Benefit Professional. I feel like it's nothing like crazy different. It's kind of just like every other pore minimizing primer I've used. So let's go in with the Photo Finish Foundation Primer now. This one's actually SPF 20, which I think is really, really cool. I love any complexion products where you also get SPF in them. You gotta take care of your skin, guys. I feel like my mum would get so angry at me right now if she saw me peeling that foil thing off with my teeth. Sorry, Mum. Okay, so this one also feels quite silicone based. Smells like sunscreen as well, actually. You can definitely smell the SPF in it. Feels really hydrating though, which is nice. It does feel a little bit thick on my skin. Primers is really hard. I think I always say this in my videos when I'm like doing a first impression on a primer. It's really hard to know straight off the bat how it's going to like perform because it's like the first step. You have to see all the products on top of it and like see how it performs once your makeup is done. So I always struggle to like say what I think of a primer, you know? Alrighty, and now for foundation. I'm actually going to use this Benefit Hello Happy foundation. This launched last year, but I have never used it before. So I've heard really good things about it. I'm actually really excited to give this a try. I've got two shades here. I've got number 4 and number 5. So I'm just not entirely sure which shade I'm going to be. I've been waiting to use it for the first time on a video. I want to kind of give you my like authentic first impression of it. So it sounds really runny. It is really runny. Holy moly. I actually think number 4 is probably going to be the best shade for me. What I'm going to do is blend it in with my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush. This is my all-time favorite foundation brush from Sigma. I've been using this for yonkies for foundation. If I'm not using a sponge, I'm using this brush here. It allows you to blend in your foundation so fast and so flawlessly. I kind of use like patting and buffing motions and then, I don't know, just kind of do like circular motions and it just looks so flawless. I'm kind of in between fake tans at the moment, so you can see here like it's not really matching my neck, but it kind of matches my arms. So just excuse that for today. We're a bit patchy in the old fake tan department at the moment. I can't get over how natural this looks on my skin. When you look up close, it literally just looks like skin. It's kind of amazing. Okay, so concealer is the only thing that I don't have something new of today. I actually did get a PR package with the new Fenty concealer, but unfortunately it is way too dark for me. I think they sent me shade like 270, which is like even darker than my foundation, like when I'm fake tanned. So that's just not going to work, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to use concealer that I am very familiar with. So I'm just gonna go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I absolutely love this. It's like a really natural kind of medium coverage, and I find that it just doesn't crease under my eyes like a lot of other concealers do. And I think I'm gonna blend that out. This is actually a new brush from Sigma. I got a PR package the other day that had this in it, and it is the new P87 Edge Precision Brush. The pointed edge makes it so easy to get into like this little area here under your eye. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this in my T-zone as well, just to highlight the center of my forehead, down my nose a little bit. I always do this so wonky. And then my chin. And I think I'm just going to blend that out with my Sigma F80 Kabuki, which is what I used for my foundation. Because it's got a little bit of the foundation left on there, it'll just blend it in really nicely, and it's nice and quick and easy to use. To set my under eyes, I think I'm gonna go in with this new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I'm actually going to take the Sigma 40 HD Kabuki brush now, and I'm gonna use this to bake using that powder under my eyes. So because it's got the pointy edges, it's actually gonna be really handy to get right into the inner corner again, but because it's a Kabuki, it's also gonna help to pick up a lot of the powder to bake. So I've just picked up a bunch of the powder on the brush, and I'm just going to press it under my eyes like so. This powder actually smells really good. I can't work out what it smells like, but it smells really good. So I don't think I'm gonna leave that on for too long because I don't want it to be super stark under there. So I'm gonna grab my Sigma Soft Blend Concealer F64 brush, and I'm going to use that to just wipe the excess product away. I can't get over how good that powder smells. I don't know exactly what scent it is, but it smells delicious. Like, I would probably eat it. Okay, and now to set the rest of my face, I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs Finish Line Perfecting Coconut Setting Powder. I'm pretty sure I have tried it once before and I do not remember if I liked it or not. So let's give it another go. My favorite brush to use to set my face is the Sigma Large Powder F30 brush. This powder's kind of cool because it's like, you don't see any powder in there. It's like a little netty type thing at the top, but when you put your brush in, it comes out. No powder. Powder. Pretty cool. I'm like easily impressed if you couldn't tell. I also have a bowl of guacamole down below me because I'm like snacking as I film. And I'm pretty sure the bowl is now like 40% loose powder, 60% guacamole, because I've just used both those loose powders and they tend to go everywhere. So I'm probably going to be digesting loose powder later today. I feel like that looks good. It has kind of like stuck onto some of my dry areas of my face, like where I've got old breakouts. So it's kind of made those areas look a little bit dry and cakey, but everywhere else it looks really, really good. So maybe just keep that in mind if you're wanting to use that powder and you've got dry skin. Okay, so moving on to contour now. I'm gonna go into the Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. Again, this isn't like super new. I just have had it for a while and haven't used it. So it's new to me, but it's basically a contour palette. It's got a couple of lighter shades here, like a more skin tone shade and then a banana shade. And then it's got some contour bronzy shades down here. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Princess Cut, which is this one here, and use that to contour and sculpt my face just a little bit. I don't want to go too hardcore. So for that, I'm going to go in with the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40 brush. I have a few of these that I kind of switch between. I also sometimes use this for blush because the actual brush itself is quite fluffy, so it's really great for blending, but this one in particular has the angled edge to it, which means you can really go in and sculpt your cheeks. I'm going to go into Princess Cut, and hopefully this isn't too dark on my skin. These look really, really dark in the pan, so I'm a little bit scared. Okay, that's not too bad at all. I do feel like though that foundation is kind of like wearing off on my face. Like it looks really patchy around here. That's super strange. I feel like maybe it's as I blend the contour out, it's just disappearing. That is so weird. I mean, I don't think it's super obvious, and it's definitely not this brush because I use this brush every time I do my makeup. I think it's honestly just the foundation. Anyways, I'm gonna take the Sigma E40 tapered blending brush now. This is actually an eye brush, but I do really like using this to contour my nose as well. So I'm gonna go back into Princess Cut and use that to contour my nose a little bit. This particular color is actually really nice for contouring. It's quite pigmented, so like just keep in mind if you are using this Park Ave Princess palette, you might need to just like tap off excess, but it is actually blending really well, and I think the color is pretty damn perfect for contouring. Now I'm also going to take this shade here, which is called Carrot. This is more of a bronzer. It's got a bit of a shimmer to it, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that on the same angled contour brush and just blend that on my cheekbones as well, just for a more bronzy look. I'm not necessarily sculpting with this one, I'm just using it to really bronze up my cheeks. Pretty. It adds a little bit of like a glow because it's got like a slight gold shimmer to it. Once I've done my contouring and bronzing, I like to go back in with my Sigma Large Powder F30 brush. This is a big fluffy brush that I used to set my face earlier, but I like to go back in with this and just kind of buff out the edges of my bronzer just so that it's not too harsh or like too muddy or anything like that. I just find that this kind of diffuses it and just makes it look a lot more natural. Alrighty, and now for blush. I thought I would like stick with the Sigma theme for today's video. I'm gonna go in with this Sigma Blush Cheek Palette. Again, I've never used this before, so I thought it was quite fitting that I pull it out for this video. So I think I'm gonna use a mix of Tiger Lily and Pinkin, which are these two right here. I think they'll look really pretty if I mix them, so I'm gonna pick them both up on my Sigma Powder Slash Blush F10 brush. Oh, I already love it. That's such a pretty combo. I actually mix my blushes quite often, like especially if I've got a blush palette in front of me and make like a little blush concoction. And then for highlighter, I'm gonna go into the Sigma Chroma Glow palette. This is a shimmer and highlight palette, so it's got some really interesting colors in it. I don't know if I would necessarily use these on my face as like a highlighter, but I think these would look really, really pretty on the eyes. But these three here look like they could make a gorgeous highlight. So I think I'm gonna do the same as what I did with the blush and kind of just like mix them together and create my own little concoction, if you will. And for that, I'm gonna take my all-time favorite highlighter brush. This is the Sigma High Cheekbone F03 brush. It's actually like a little, tiny little fluffy brush. It's kind of like a mini version of the blush brush, but I like it because it allows you to be super precise and like get the high points of your cheeks, but also like blend it out really, really well because it is still really fluffy. So I'm gonna pick up just like a mix of these three. That's so pretty. And as per usual, I'm gonna bring a little bit of that onto my brow bone and kind of connect it with my cheekbone. And then a little bit on the end of the nose. Oh, that's popping. And then the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the cupid's bow, and then just kind of like everywhere else on my face. I really, really love that. That's so pretty. Alrighty, so I've just quickly done my brows off camera and now I'm gonna move on to eyes. I didn't have any new brow products to try out, so I thought I would just skip that step and move straight on to eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow today, I'm gonna be using this new Kat Von D Lolita palette. I got this in PR last week, so I'm pretty sure it's fairly new. The colors look really, really beautiful. We've got lots of like burgundies, cranberries, pinky, mauvey kind of colors, which I'm totally living for. They're all matte as well, which I actually really, really love that they've included just matte in one eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna start off with my Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush, and I'm gonna pick up this shade here, which is called Hermosura. I have no idea. I'll leave everything linked down below. You guys know I always do that. So I'm gonna pick up that shade there and run that through my crease. The E40 from Sigma is like an absolute must-have. It's a staple brush. You need it. I use this brush every single time I do my eyeshadow. It is perfect for blending out the transition color. It's got just the right amount of fluffiness and also kind of denseness to the brush where you get like really good color payoff, but it's just so easy to blend the shadows as well. So I'm just gonna buff that color out towards my brow bone and kind of smoke it out a bit. I remember back in the day, before I ever used Sigma brushes, I used to sit down and watch Jaclyn Hill, and she used to rave about the E40 tapered blending brush. She used to use it in every tutorial and she would just rave about it. And so the day that I finally got my first ever Sigma brush kit, the E40 was like the one brush that I was like, this better be in the kit because I need it in my life. I think I've got like 10 different Sigma E40 brushes and I use them all. Like I just love them. You can never have too many blending brushes. All right, so now I'm gonna pick up the shade Corazon. I literally have no idea how to pronounce any of these names, but it's this gorgeous purple color here. And I'm gonna pick that up on my Sigma E25 blending brush. This is kind of like a flatter version of the E40, so it allows you to get a bit more precisely into the crease. So I'm just gonna pick up some of that color and start blending it more precisely in my crease. I'm gonna start in the outer corner because that's where I want it to be more pigmented, I guess. And then once that's kind of packed on the outer corner, I'll start blending it more throughout my crease. I can't get over how easy these eyeshadows are to blend. They're so smooth. I'm also gonna blend a little bit of that just onto my outer V of my eyelid, just to add a little bit of definition. And then what I always do is go back in with my E40 brush. No extra product on it, just whatever's left on the brush from before. And I use that to buff the edges. And you'll see that it just kind of diffuses the edges of the eyeshadow really, really nicely. I'm super impressed by the fact that there's no fallout. Like for such kind of like pigmented, creamy, smooth colors, there is no fallout whatsoever, which is really, really nice. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of Corazon again on my E25 and use that to blend on the lower lash line. This is the other thing that the E25 is really good for, because it's more of a flat brush. It allows you to get nice and precise under the eye, but then you can also use it to diffuse the color out a little bit more as well. So I'm going to go into the color Eterno now, and I'm going to pick that up on my Sigma Pencil E30 brush. This brush is really, really great for packing certain colors on and then kind of like smoking the edges out. It's a really fluffy brush, but it's quite tapered towards the end, quite small as well. So it allows you to be really precise with where you're placing the color, and then once the color's on, you can use it to kind of buff out the edges as well. I really, really love this for kind of like darker colors where you really do need to like be in control of where you're applying the product. So I'm going to pick up Eterno, which is this dark purple shade here, and I'm going to apply that right on the outer corner. I want to add like a bit of a gradient and a lot of definition to that outer corner. So I'm just being super precise and just packing on that color to start off with. And then once the color is placed down where I want it to be, I'm just going to use the pencil brush to start kind of buffing it into the other two colors that are already on my lid. I'm also going to bring a little bit of that down onto the outer corner of my lower lash line and kind of just like connect it up with the outer V of my eyelid as well. I can't get over how easy these colors are to work with. I am like absolutely loving this palette so far. Now I'm just going to take my Sigma E25 again and just use that to buff the edges. I always go back in with kind of like the brush that I used in the previous step, and I use it to blend and mesh the colors together. I feel like because it's always got like excess product on it from what you've previously used, it works really well. So that's just like a little tip, I guess, if you guys are struggling with blending. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna pick up the shade Promesa, which is this gorgeous light lilac shade here. And I'm gonna pick that up on my Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. This is perfect for packing on colors on the lid, whether they're dark colors, light colors, no matter what. This brush is what you need. So I'm gonna use this to pack on Promesa from the inner corner, maybe to like 2/3 around to my eyelid to kind of blend it in with the outer corner. I honestly feel like when I'm trying to explain eyeshadow to you guys, I feel like I'm talking gibberish. So I'm sorry if I like repeat myself a billion times or if it doesn't really make sense. When it comes to eyeshadow, my brain stops working. So with this brush, I pat the product rather than swipe it. And then I go back in with my E25 again and use that to blend the edges. I absolutely love how that looks. Those colors are blending together so nicely. Alrighty, so now for winged liner, I'm actually gonna take the Inkwell liner that was part of the same launch as the Lolita palette. This is obviously the shade Lolita, but it's a long wear matte eyeliner. And it's kind of like a pinky mauvey color. I've kind of swatched it on the side of my hand here. I've never really used a color other than black for winged eyeliner, but I figured because it kind of like launched with the eyeshadow palette, I should give it a go. It's definitely very matte, that is for sure. It also dries really quickly, so I feel like I have to work kind of fast. And the other thing that I've noticed so far is that it dries a couple of shades darker than when you first apply it. So it does change color a little bit. I don't hate how it looks. I think it's actually quite pretty, like something different other than black liner, but I'm not in love with the formula. Alrighty, so I feel like I just want something a bit more. That eyeliner didn't really do it for me. So I'm gonna go in now with the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Long Wear Liquid Eyeliner. This is the shade Intergalactic. This is kind of like a sparkly pinky shade. I don't know if you can really see it. I've just layered it over the top of the eyeliner that I swatched earlier. So what I'm gonna do is apply this to kind of like the inner corner towards like the middle of my eye over the top of the winged liner and just see how that looks. I'm just having a play at this point. Seeing what I can create basically. Okay, that's actually quite pretty. I think what I might do is pull that all the way to the wing because I feel like it's layering really nicely on top of that Lolita eyeliner. Okay, Okay, that looks really, really cool. Okay, so now for mascara, I'm gonna try out this Smashbox Superfan Fanned Out Mascara. Was this the collaboration with Superwoman? Am I making that up? Like the YouTuber, not like Superwoman, but like the YouTuber Superwoman. I don't know, I could be making that up entirely. But yeah, I've never used this, so let's give it a go. I feel like the wand is really, really stiff, but it is separating my lashes really nicely. It's not adding a lot of length or volume. I feel like it's kind of just coating my lashes evenly, separating them nicely. I'm not like super impressed. Alrighty, and now for falsies, I'm actually gonna use the Quartz Beauty falsies in the style Sapphire. Quartz Beauty is actually Crystal Conti's new brand. If you don't know who Crystal is, she is another YouTuber here in Australia. Little shout out to Crystal. I think it's absolutely amazing when people in this industry come out with their own brand and their products. Like, it's something to be super, super proud of. So I'm really proud of you, Crystal, and yeah, I'm excited to use these today. They are gorgeous. Oh my goodness. They have like the perfect amount of curl to them. All right, and for lips today, I'm gonna use a combination of these two Huda Beauty products. So I've got the lip contour, which is like a lip pencil, I'm assuming. This is in the color Bombshell, and then I've got the Huda Beauty Demi Matte Cream Lipstick in the shade Shiro. I'm not sure if they have matching liners to lip colors or like how it works, but I'm pretty sure like these look very similar. So yeah, that's what's gonna go on my lips today. Wow, these are super creamy. They just like glide on. Alrighty, and now for the Demi Matte Liquid Lip. That lip color is so pigmented. Like, I barely had to apply any and it was just like, bam. Feels really hydrating on my lips actually. Before I put it on, I was a bit concerned because my lips are actually dry today, which is not like me at all, but they felt a little bit dry. So I wasn't sure how that was gonna go, but I feel like that product has actually moisturized and hydrated my lips perfectly. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed by that. So that brings us to the end of the video. I actually am like very impressed by a lot of the products I used today. That Kat Von D Lolita palette is incredible. I'm really happy with how the eyes have turned out. Wasn't super impressed with the eyeliner, but the palette, amazing. The Marc Jacobs and Fenty Beauty setting powders seem to be sitting really nicely on my skin, but the foundation, I just, not loving it anymore. I really liked it in the beginning. I thought it looked really, really nice on my skin, like very natural and very skin-like. But after it's been on now, I mean, it's been on for like maybe an hour and a half, close to 2 hours, because like that's how long it takes me to film a video. And it is looking hella patchy, particularly around these areas here. And I know I mentioned while I was doing my contour that I felt like it was kind of coming off, which is very unusual. So I'm not sure if it was with kind of like the addition of other products on top, but either way, it's ended up looking very, very patchy. I'm gonna give it another shot because obviously it could just be the combination of products that I used today. They may just not work well together. I'm not really sure. Anyways, guys, that brings me to the end of the video. Don't forget to check out the description box for all of the information in regards to the Sigma brushes I used today. I will leave links to all of those brushes down below. Don't forget to check out your local Sephora as well here in Australia, because Sigma is now stocked in Sephora, Australia, which is so exciting. We're getting there, guys. Here in Australia, we are getting there. We're moving places in the cosmetic industry. We're getting there. So this is like another step forward and it's very exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Oh my god! What's wrong, Bobby? You know I got food. You can't have any. Not for you. Okay, so to set my under eyes, I think I'm gonna get down. Get down. It's got like the pointed edges. It's gonna be really, really good to pick up a lot of... What, Cooper? What? No, Bobby. Quartz Beauty is actually